I want to use this opportunity to tell everyone in this hall and in this great nation, the loser was India and the winner was Pakistan. And I really am so delighted this because I think the Pakistani victory in the aero battle against India is a victory for peace. I'm so happy I made that proposal last year at the Magala. I want to use this opportunity to make another recommendation. Pakistan, keep nominating President Trump for Nobel Peace Prize until he really gets the Peace Prize, either when he is in the White House or after he leaves the White House. Now, I coined a term called the China-Pakistani Plus. It does not only mean China-Pakistani Plus, involving Pakistan playing greater roles in terms with Arab relations or the Muslim relations. I want to see Pakistan continue to play important roles in bringing China and the United States together. If Pakistan can play that role back in 1971, why couldn't Pakistan continue to play that indispensable role in 2025?
这是中国著名国际问题学者高志凯于2025年11月27日在巴基斯坦伊斯兰堡举办的2025年马尔加拉对话上的演讲。在这次演讲中，他围绕全球力量格局转型、中巴战略合作、美中竞争及南亚安全局势等议题展开深度分析。他不仅重申中巴关系的准同盟式特质，还公开评价印巴空战的结果，强调战略威慑对地区和平的重要性。同时，他提出几个令人深思的观点：真正的中美关系不必走向战争，而是通过威慑实现和平。巴基斯坦在全球地缘政治中不仅是战略伙伴，更是桥梁型国家。人工智能若被单一国家垄断，将威胁全球文明与主权。
Thank you very much, Mr. Hossain, for giving me the floor. And I also want to thank Senator Said for his kind words for me. And I'm so honored to share this stage together with Daniel, Anastasia, and Desmond. For me, it is a true honor each time when I come back to Pakistan. It's like homecoming for me because I'm coming back to be with my brothers and sisters. And we talked about China-Pakistani friendship as high as the Himalayas. But now let me share with you, China-Pakistani friendship is as high as in the space because right now China and Pakistan are working together to train the Pakistani taikonauts or the cosmonauts or the astronauts. And one day you will see Pakistani taikonaut, which is the Chinese version for that, will be in the space station. And I want to take this opportunity to share what I believe in. In this round, China will be the first country to land taikonaut on the face of the moon and bring them back safely. And I hope it will be a pride for China as well as for Pakistan, for our cooperation. Now, I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Pakistani military, the armed forces, and the Air Force, and especially Field Marshal Munua, for the excellent battle victory on May the 7th. I was asked who won, who lost on the major Indian television, and I told the Indian audience, in order not to give you too much grief, let me tell you, there was only one winner and there was only one loser. And the loser was not Pakistan, and the winner was not India. I want to use this opportunity to tell everyone in this hall and in this great nation, the loser was India and the winner was Pakistan. And I really am so delighted this because I think the Pakistani victory in the aero battle against India is a victory for peace because it will make sure that no one will dare to launch another war against Pakistan, not only because of the bravery and the resourcefulness and the wisdom of the Pakistani people, but also because of the brotherhood and the sisterhood between China and Pakistan. It is truly time-tested. I listened very carefully to what Mr. Daniel Randa said, raise the hay when the sunshine is still lasting. But let me tell you, true friends need to be with each other in sunshine or in storm. And true friends cannot come and go once in 15 years. True friends should be together, day and night, without being separated by one single minute. And I also listened very carefully to my respected Mr. Rundy when he said the Americans' interest in minerals. Let me tell you, because I'm very philosophical, I always try to remind myself to be very philosophical. The American interest in mineral is not in minerals. The American interest in minerals is for the minerals for defense industry. Now they no longer have a defense ministry. It's very dangerous. Their interest in the minerals are in war because they now have a war department. And Secretary Hegseth, a wonderful American whom I highly admire, is a war secretary. So just imagine Mr. Hegseth walks into this room and tell all the Pakistani friends, hello, Pakistanis, I'm war secretary. I hope President Trump will really rechange it back to defense secretary. And you remember at the Magala conference last year, I proposed that maybe Pakistan should nominate Mr. Trump, at that time President-elect of the United States, for the Nobel Peace Prize. I really did that. And afterwards, one VIP on the Pakistani side pulled me aside and said, this is a good recommendation. We will follow up. Now, subsequent to that, in due course, Pakistan did nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm sure President Trump took notice of that. And among many other things, it helped improve relations between Pakistan and the United States. I'm so happy I made that proposal last year at the Magala. I want to use this opportunity to make another recommendation. Pakistan, keep nominating President Trump for Nobel Peace Prize until he really gets the Peace Prize, either when he is in the White House or after he leaves the White House. Remember, President Carter didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize when he was in the White House. He got it many years after he left the White House. So let's all pray that President Trump will get the Peace Prize. If such nomination and is winning the Nobel Peace Prize will help make the world more peaceful. And in this connection, renaming the War Department back into the Defense Department may be a right step in the right direction. Maybe Mr. Hegseth from the War Secretary into the Defense Secretary may be in the right direction. At least that's what I thought. Now, talking about the world order, listen very carefully to what Daniel had said to say and what Anastasia had to say. Allow me to mention one point. We are still living in the international order established back in 1945. And that international order established in 1945 was not meant to be unipolar. It was meant to be, and it was put into place as a multipolar world. Look at the composition of the United Nations Security Council with 5 permanent members, each with a veto power. That means the international order was meant to be involving checks and balances, and its main task is to make sure there will be no more another world war breaking out, which will be a scourge on mankind. That is very important. Allow me to share with you one thing in front of our distinguished Mr. Rundy. The United States has been in default of payments to the United Nations, running up an arrear of more than $3 billion US. China has never defaulted, and for more than 10 years, China has been the largest UN fee-paying country in the world, ahead of the United States. But have you heard China bragging about that? No. Probably I will get some slap in my wrist when I go back to Beijing if I was quoted as telling the world that China paid more UN membership fees than the United States. But this is true. This is true. China always keeps its international commitment. China keeps its commitment to brothers and sisters. And among all the brothers and sisters in the world, Pakistan is really the ironclad brothers and sisters. I was questioned during the most dangerous time of the Arrow battle, or before that, whether China will have doubts about having Pakistan as a brother. And I told the whole world, really, because it's a global platform, never second guess China's commitment to Pakistan. And China will never hesitate to share with the Pakistani brothers and sisters the best equipment, the best technology, and the best military hardware and the software, if it will help Pakistani brothers and sisters to defend your sovereignty and territorial integrity. That is not something Victor Gao says. That is what I understand to be the true bottom line in China's relations with Pakistan. Now, I'm also very much asked the question, well, now Pakistan and America are improving their relations. Is China concerned? Let me put it on the record. China has no concern about the improvement in Pakistani-US relations if it does not become detrimental to China-Pakistani brotherhood and sisterhood. And we have no doubt about how China and Pakistan will handle our bilateral relations because, as I mentioned, true friendship, true brotherhood and sisterhood is not for one day. It is forever. It is for perpetuity. And in that sense, I think we, the two brothers and sisters, will never have second doubts about each other, and we will be truly together. Now, I mentioned the international order being multilateral to start with. Something wrong happened in between until one country believes it is the unipolarity in the world, which is not true, which is actually a betrayal of the multipolarity established back in 1945. What China wants to do is to make sure that no country in this world, on this earth, will pretend to be the unipolarity in the world. No. Unipolarity is destructive of sovereignties of about 200 countries in the world. No country should be allowed to point a gun at your head and demand your ultimatum and demand your surrender. That's not good. And no country wants to live in the rule of jungle. We should all live in the civilized world with real, mutually agreed rules. Whenever someone talks about rules, the first question is, who made the rule? Did I get involved in making the rule? Did Pakistan get involved in making the rule? If it is not our rules, why should we abide by that? And also allow me to mention, the real choice for Pakistan and for almost the 200 countries in the world is not a forced choice between China versus the United States. That's the wrong choice. The real choice is for you to make up your mind whether the United States is doing the right thing or the wrong thing, and whether China is doing the right thing or the wrong thing. If the United States is doing the right thing, why don't you want to work with the United States? If the United States is doing the wrong thing, like becoming in default of UN membership payment, why do you want to follow their leadership? Likewise, if China is doing the right thing, even many countries urge you not to work with China. Why do you want to listen to that kind of nonsense? And if China is doing the wrong thing, God forbid, and I don't think China will do the wrong thing, why do you want to work with China? So that's a very important thing. Use your brain to make up your mind whether US or China is doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And while many people in Washington may pretend they do not know, I think the rest of the world will know for sure what is the right thing and what is the wrong thing. Now, let me be very brief. China is really building up its military power. It is not against any of the 14 land neighboring countries. It's not against the 6 maritime neighboring countries. It's not against China's Taiwan province. The real target is only one. It is with the United States. And the real purpose is not for war. The real purpose is to make sure that the Americans will know how to treasure peace. Because when you go to Washington, some people keep talking about war with China. They call it destined for war scenario. They came up with a term called the Thucydides trap. I completely rebuke it. I came up with my version of the truth. It's called the inevitability of peace between China and the United States. And I do want to have a chance to talk more with Mr. Randi about the inevitability of peace, because war is not an option between China and the United States, and war should never be considered as an option between China and the United States. If you looked at one weapon China demonstrated on September the 3rd in Tiananmen Square, in front of the whole world, it's called a Dongfeng 61. It can reach any target anywhere in the world in 20 minutes. And its final speed will be 40 Mach. Nothing can stop it. Nothing can intercept it. the Iron Dome or the Gold Dome or the Diamond Dome. No, it cannot be intercepted. If you really want to impose war on China, you will get war. That's the simple point. By taking this point, China makes sure the United States will treasure peace, and China and the United States will work for peace, and let's abandon anything like destined for war or Thucydides' trap, because China and the United States, and together with Russia, of course, are the three most powerful nuclear power countries. China will never tell you how many warheads it has. That's the top secret in the world. That's the most important strategic ambiguity in the world. But China always tells you, if you want to impose nuclear war on China, China will wipe you out with a nuclear retaliation. That is the determination of the Chinese people. And we want to embrace peace as much as we can. China and Russia, we are peaceful neighbors. We share a common undefended border, 4,300 kilometers long. We don't consider the United States as our rival or our competitor or our enemy. We consider the United States as a great country to be engaged with fully for mutual benefit. In that sense, I think a stronger China and a stronger China-Pakistani friendship will make peace in this world stronger. Now, again, allow me to mention one thing for the benefit. China and the United States should be eternally grateful to Pakistan for the very important role Pakistan played in bringing China and the United States together in 1971. Dr. Henry Kissinger took off from Islamabad on that most secretive visit in human history. He flew to Beijing and eventually opened the door between China and the United States. That changed the whole world. Now, I coined a term called the China-Pakistani Plus. It does not only mean China-Pakistani Plus, involving Pakistan playing greater roles in terms with Arab relations or the Muslim relations. I want to see Pakistan continue to play important roles in bringing China and the United States together. If Pakistan can play that role back in 1971, why couldn't Pakistan continue to play that indispensable role in 2025? Now, allow me to wrap up. We are living in this AI world. Now, the arrival of the DeepSeek moment has several messages, as I talked about in the op-ed. First of all, DeepSeek proved that AI is not American intelligence. Very simple, but very elegant. AI is not American intelligence. AI is artificial intelligence for the benefit of all, to be participated in all. Second, AI should be open sourced. It cannot be closed sourced. The OpenAI in the United States is closed sourced. It pretends to be open AI. So there will be a showdown sooner or later that the closed sourced way of developing AI will be a dead end eventually. And only open sourced AI development will be the winner. This is my firm belief. I want to bet my house with you here. I said this on Magala 2025, and we can gather again in a matter of 3 or 5 years to see whether the closed-sourced way of development of AI will indeed become a dead end. Why do you know? Let me share with you. Because the closed-sourced way of developing AI is designed to achieve one purpose and one purpose only, to establish AI dominance. But we cannot allow any country to achieve AI dominance. Why? Because if any country achieves AI dominance, it will completely disregard sovereignty and civilizational heritage of all the nations in the world. AI dominance in the hands of one single country will be a disaster for the 8 billion people in the world. Therefore, philosophically or as a matter of practice, you need to promote AI in an open-sourced way so that all the countries, all the companies, all the militaries, all the individuals can participate freely and with very low cost, rather than charging you an exorbitant amount of fees to use AI. That's one point I want to make. Now, the other side, allow me to make a final point. I completely support what was said about Gaza. I'm personally very traumatized to see the atrocities, genocide committed against the Palestinian people. I want to use this opportunity to make one point. China firmly opposes the genocide committed by Israel against the Palestinians. And in this spirit, China is completely with Pakistan. And we are standing shoulder to shoulder with all the Muslim countries in the world, with all the Arab countries in the world. We will never allow one single country try to dominate above the Palestinian people. And we firmly believe in the two-state solution. And I hope China and Pakistan will work tirelessly to make sure that the Palestinians will always be treated as equals to the Israelis, and the two-state solution eventually will be achieved. In that spirit, may I wrap up, and I hope you will welcome me as your brother, and I welcome everyone in this audience and in this great nation as my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much.
Thank you.